Welcome to a random contemplative conversation with me. For those of you who don't know, I am an avid practitioner of yoga. I've been practicing for over 10 years and I have been teaching for maybe some 6 or so. And I've had the pleasure of coming back or beginning actually to teach Yoga Nidra, which is, in very simple terms, a practice of yogic sleep where we are allowing the body to enter a state of sleep or deep rest while sustaining the mind in conscious awareness. And I was reviewing my teachings, my studies. I studied a while ago, but it's online. I kind of studied slowly. Anyway, I was reviewing one of the practices around. It's a cognition-based practice to enhance or place attention and awareness into memory. And one of the techniques, and please do not consider taking this into your practice if you're a teacher or just trying this on randomly, because this is such a sliver of fragment of a complete practice. But a tiny sliver of the practice involved a memory-inducing technique where my teacher suggested to, from the state of deep relaxation, we'd already gone through other techniques and layers and dimensions to arrive into this place, and from this place to remember what you were doing half an hour ago, and to fully visualize it or sense it or experience it from the place of non-judgment and the place of just the perceiver, right? And he proceeded to go through suggesting that we recollect every half hour prior to that, and half hour before, and before, and before, all the way from the day, from the moment that you are currently present in the state of Yoga Nidra, half an hour before, what you were doing, where you were, what you were feeling, and to visualize that that scene, or that almost what I think of as the story of your humanity, just your humanness throughout the day, all the way to the state, the half-hour window of when you woke up, and the half hour before, pre-wakeful state. And so I was, thinking about the structure of the class that I'm going to teach this afternoon. And I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. And I don't like to copy paste, right? The purpose of education and learning of systems is at times to follow a system systematically, or to allow the system to emerge naturally through your own vessel, because it really needs to land with you and be synergized and symbiotic with you, to come from a place of truth and come from a place of authenticity and personal integrated wisdom and development, right? So I was thinking about it, and I thought, oh well, it's Friday, so I thought, why not take them, maybe like every day. Today's Friday, so I think instead of going every half hour or every hour, why not suggest to move the image of awareness day by day. So think about today is Friday, and then progressively visualize Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and so on. And it was very quickly, you know, the body of reason just came through really quickly. This is a pre-recorded learning online, so I'm not in contact with my teacher right now. So I couldn't ask the question as to why wouldn't you? But it just, the agency of reason is so valuable, and it just was super quick in my mind that of course we wouldn't do that, because as simply as I visualize it right now, our ability to remember yesterday with as much visceral detail as today is, a fraction less likely, right? And so then it progressively leads us to the experience of recollecting data and information and awareness from a place of highlighting. So you're really just highlighting key moments. And that leaves us in a superficial plane of perhaps that cultivation of cognition and memory, right? And when we think of today, and you think about half an hour ago and half an hour before that, it's so fresh in your mind that the ability to carry your full awareness without thinking that you're thinking about it, like really just allowing the imagery to emerge in your mind of every half hour of the day is a lot more localized. It's closer, it's much more tangible, and it's much more honoring into the desired state of effortlessness. And yeah, the other piece also is the purpose of returning back to the waking and pre-waking states. Because if I was going to cycle back, day by day, then when do we end at the waking and pre-waking, which really is the point, the liminal space of your cognitive awareness or your conscious awareness and our perceived reality. So that's also a very key part of Yoga Nidra, is to keep the body in the state of sleep and deep rest and restoration and regeneration, while the mind can explore sustaining conscious awareness. So that is really simply like why I reasoned that it needs to stay within the localized point of just today, and just today, just enough to recollect yourself back into that waking and pre-waking state. And I think with a lot of self-study and a lot of the age of information, I think it can be really easy to, the age of information and the age of quite a lot of liberty. You really can kind of do anything you want, and especially I'm in Australia, and it's very open for people being creative or adapting things to suit our environment, because our ecology is different to the ecology of India during the time of development of the Vedas and the traditional teachings and all of these things. So there's been so much adaptation of yoga, traditional yoga, into modern yoga, into kind of just athletic movement, or whatever you might want to call it, just like exercise. And I think there's a beautiful way that we can preserve knowledge and information by, maybe just when we're thinking of adaptation, to a system or to a methodology, really sustaining the voice and the agency of reason to clearly understand why the system is the way that it is and how you can preserve the system or sustain it so that you might actually get the effect. Because, you know, teaching systems, practices, techniques, all of the things, all of the tools and all of the medicine is for the design for really specific outcomes, you know. So to be able to really see the purpose of what it is that you're seeking to adapt, and knowing where there's room and where there's less room for that change, to create the results that we're looking for, so that we can continue actually supporting ourselves and people, friends and family, and our communities without dispersing techniques. Anyway, those are just some thoughts. I've been meaning to make some of these videos for a while because I got a lot of thoughts in my head, and I know, you know, they might be kind of simple and kind of boring, and maybe no one's really interested, but who knows? All right. Blessings. Have a beautiful day, night, moment, existence, wherever you are. And if you did like these thoughts, if it was sort of interesting, if you got something, let me know. Maybe drop a comment. Yeah, I might share another video again sometime. All right, bye.